Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, I've got little Aristeus with me and he's doing good. I think I just woke him up, but he did hiss at me, but he's all right now. He always does that anyway. So yeah, he's getting bigger and shying away from the camera. But yeah, so today I wanted to sort of start a series of venomous snakes that I'd love to own if they weren't venomous. So today I'm going to start off talking about the African bush viper. So I'm going to be sort of giving you information about bush vipers and just why they're so cool, basically. So yeah, so without any further ado, I should just get straight on with that, and thanks very much for watching. So the African bush viper is a venomous reptile and it is located in East and Central Africa. It's a small to medium-sized viper with rough-looking appearance caused by its keeled dorsal scales. It goes by several other names, including spiny bush viper, the rough-scaled viper, the hairy bush viper, no jokes. African bush viper is both arboreal and terrestrial, meaning it thrives on the ground and also in trees, so it's a good climber as well. When on the ground, the African bush viper seeks thick vegetation to remain hidden, which is probably what a lot of snakes do anyway, to be fair. During the morning, the bush viper can be seen hanging off tree limbs and, you know, basically basking in the sun, which is obviously what a lot of snakes like to do. And for the most part, the African bush viper is a solitary animal, which is the same for a lot of snakes as well. They're very solitary, so don't be fooled by the bush viper's cuteness, because their venom does pack a very powerful punch and a bite from them can be fatal. The habitat of a bush viper. The African bush viper's habitat is in Central and Eastern Africa, namely the southern part of Uganda, the northern and eastern Congo, western Kenya, Rwanda, Brunei and northern Tanzania. The snake thrives in dense, humid and wet forest areas in these countries. Depending on the season, the snake may be found at varying altitudes. So yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that, so it's an interesting fact. During the dry season, the spiny bush viper prefers the lowlands, but during the rainy season, which is May to August, it prefers high ground. Where to look if you want to find a bush viper? The African bush viper is a nocturnal reptile, so during the daytime it's usually hiding and it's, you know, normally asleep. However, early in the morning it basks in tree branches, as I mentioned before. The snake is a versatile tree climber and it often hangs from tree branches and vines, waiting for prey to pass by. Besides being an agile climber, the African bush viper is also able to maneuver itself with stealth on the ground as well, so I think they can be quite quick and zippy. Colour, size and attributes. The hairy bush viper is a well-built snake with a firm muscular body and an outer surface with strongly keeled scales. It's one of the most unique looking snakes on planet Earth, and it really is. I think that's why I love it so much. The head is covered with small keeled scales. This is a distinct feature of this viper, because obviously there's lots of different species of vipers out there, so as I say, just touching on the bush viper today. Colour varies from green to like a sort of yellowish brown colour, which enables the snake to hide in surrounding vegetation, so it's pretty much camouflaged. The bush viper will grow to about 24 to 36 inches in length. With the females, you know, they'll be sort of slightly longer, which is normal for the reptile and snake world. The head is a triangular sort of shape and its eyes are large and oval, which makes it easier for the snake to see in the thick dense forest. The spade-shaped head is commonly found in venomous snakes, particularly vipers, so if you do look at vipers you can see they've got quite a similar sort of shaped head. It's a dead giveaway when identifying venomous snakes, though some non-venomous snakes have triangular shaped heads too. The face of a bush viper it's got a prominent short snout in most males, unlike other vipers. The eyes are oval, large and surrounded by at least a dozen circumorbital scales. It's easy for me to say. Even the space in between the eyes is separated by 6 to 9 scales. The nose is a tiny slit and again separated by a row of scales from the eyes. The two fangs are located in the upper jaw and are connected to the venomous gland in the upper jaw. The retractable fangs become prominent when the mouth is open and shift when the mouth is closed. Unlike other vipers, the spiny bush viper does not have heat sensing pits, but instead relies on vision, its sense of smell and vibratory senses to detect prey. They actually have quite good vision. How long do they live? The documentation of African bush vipers' lifespan is poor. Reports indicate that most vipers will live between 10 to 12 years, but because of predators and disease, most have a shorter lifespan. Besides humans, other predators of vipers include other snakes, birds and large fish. In captivity, the reptile is known to live between 15 to 20 years because basically there's no risk of predators around, so that is the case generally with a lot of captive bred animals. They will live longer just because there's not any threats about, really, you know. How venomous are African bush viper snakes? Despite its relatively small size, the African bush viper carries a punch with its bite. While extensive studies on its venom have not been done, some studies indicate that the venom is primarily neurotoxic, meaning it damages the nerves. Besides, the venom also causes extensive internal bleeding, resulting in rapid death. And unfortunately, these snakes are common amongst exotic and sometimes black market pet trade. This is mostly due to their unique looks. So, you know, I can understand people wanting to have a snake that looks as unique as the bush viper does, but it's not safe and I really wouldn't recommend it. As you can see, I have little Asclepion with me now for the next part of this video. How this will go, I don't know, because he's a squiggle pants, but yeah, he's doing all right at the moment. So he was having a mooch about. I thought I'd just get him out. So he likes being a headband. Oh, the African bush viper bite. The bite and venom of the African bush viper has not been well studied, but it is reported that the venom is primarily neurotoxic, meaning it can paralyse the nerves, as I said before. The snake is usually not aggressive, but it will stand its ground if it's threatened. So unfortunately, there has been people that have accidentally stood near or walked near a viper and it feels like it's being threatened, so it will kind of curl up into an S shape ready to attack, but it doesn't mean it always will. But some obviously have attacked humans and other animals, and obviously because of their venom, you know, it is fatal. Don't know what this boy's doing, he's crazy. African bush viper behaviour. So to get around and see prey, this reptile uses its vision, but also has a highly developed olfactory and tactile senses. So the olfactory system is basically a sense of smell. It will make a threatening posture towards large predators and is not shy about striking. When competing for females, the male will try and make himself larger by lifting his body upright. If you are going to other hotter, humid countries and, you know, there's a chance of snakes and whatnot, then obviously, as I said before, you do have to be careful and stuff. So I think, you know, like most animals, they won't just attack you for no reason. They will only attack if they feel threatened. The natural habitat and environment of a bush viper. The African bush viper has a wide habitat ranging from sea level forests, dense wood and knee-high vegetation in the foothills and lowlands of the mountain forests. This snake prefers to inhabit vines, low branches and shrubs where it can seek prey and also hide from other predators. Oh man, I told you this would be a challenge with this boy. I don't know. So the young African bush vipers have different coloured scales compared to the adults, and this serves as a warning sign to other threatening animals. Diet and eating habits. Like all vipers, the African bush viper hunts and eats live prey. The African bush viper feeds on small mammals, lizards, amphibians, shrews, birds, and even other smaller snakes. When it usually hunts for prey while in trees, it will also actively seek prey while on the ground. In fact, the African bush viper will also prey upon its own kind, so I've heard of that before, and to be honest, it sounds like anything that comes their way, if they're hungry, they'll have a go at and maybe try and eat, you know, so. The snake swallows the dead prey after it injects the victim with venom. The venom paralyses and kills quickly, but it's definitely not a pleasant death for the unfortunate victims, as I can only imagine. How they hunt. To attract prey, the snake will sometimes use its coloured scales on the tail to lure the unknowing critter. However, as the snake matures, the coloration of the scales become more uniform, and luring prey via this method does not work. In most cases, the adult snake ambushes its prey with a high success rate. So obviously, because they're fast, they're quick at striking, and you know, once that venom's in, that's that. Most preys are not able to get away from the African bush viper strike, which is lightning fast. As I say, it is for all snakes. Even these lot, when I feed these lot, it's like less than the blink of an eye and that's it, bam, they've got it. But luckily they're not venomous. Reproduction and mating. The complete mating cycle of the reptile is not known. But one feature is known: these vipers are seasonally monogamous, which I didn't know. Females do not mate until they are nearly 3 to 4 years old, but males start after about 24 months old. So that's the case with a lot of snakes, and you know, corn snakes are the same, they're not any different. The female will only reproduce once a year, usually during the wet season, which is May to August. The female African bush viper will carry the unborn young inside her abdomen. The gestation period is about 2 months, after which she will give birth to about 2 to 12 live younglings. So yeah, there's no eggs with the bush vipers, they give birth to live young. The newborns measure 4 to 6 inches in length and have all the features of the adult viper except the size, obviously, and they are really cute. However, after delivery, the female viper abandons her offspring. Since the neonate vipers are venomous, even at birth, they are able to survive independently, but few make it to maturity, which is a shame, but such is life, unfortunately. The growth of the baby bush viper is initially fast, but as the snake approaches 24 months, the growth slows down, and as I say, it's probably normal for a lot of snakes, especially these guys as well. So now I have little Caduceus with me for the next part of this video. He's lovely and warm because he's been on his heat mat. Seems to be doing all right. So yeah, the role of the bush viper in the ecosystem. The snake plays a vital role in the ecosystem by controlling the number of rodents and limiting the spread of disease. Humans do not usually come into contact with the reptile unless they venture into its habitat. When people are going for walks, you know, in sort of wetlands and forests and stuff like that, that's when they're more likely to come across a bush viper. One reason the snake is studied is for the creation of anti-venom. The snake overall is not a threat to humans, as it does not venture out of its rural habitat. In fact, humans kill the viper out of unreasonable fear and ignorance, basically. So they just think, oh, it's a scary thing and it's got venom, it's going to kill me, so I will kill it first. And that is not the attitude we should be having whatsoever where snakes are concerned. Leave them alone, don't do anything to them, because I just think people that are going to just go around killing snakes just because they're venomous or because the human is scared of them, it's, you know, to kill them, that's just evil. To me, that is just pure evil. So sorry, I'll get off my soapbox. If the snake is left alone, it will not attack humans. It prefers solitude and is fairly passive, so maybe a little bit like these corn snakes, but these are real docile. So in the long run, the snake helps control infestation by various mammals, including rodents. So, you know, they are great to have around, because, you know, we accept that cats will catch mice and rats and whatever and eat them, but these guys do the same, except they're just not furry and they don't have any legs, but they'll still catch those rodents and eat them and deal with any kind of pests you've got. So they are really good to have. And I know this little boy loves his food. Just a little bit on conservation. So conservation and threats. The African bush viper is not a threatened species, but its numbers have declined over the past several decades, unfortunately. The prime reason for the decrease in numbers includes urbanisation, deforestation, and, as I said before, human killings. So they're, you know, basically the reason why there are less of them now. I mean, they're not, as I say, endangered, but if we keep carrying on the way we are, they will be. So that's some information on vipers. This video is going to be quite long because it's quite detailed where these bush vipers are concerned, but they are one of my favourite venomous snakes. As I say, I would love to own a snake like that, but the venom, no, I have no plans to own any venomous snakes. I know some people can and some people do because they have a license to do so and the necessary experience, but I would not recommend it. As I said before, on the black market and stuff, people try and get these snakes, but it's not a good idea, because it's not only dangerous to your own human family, it could be dangerous to your own animal family. You know, if you've got cats and dogs and a snake like that gets out, you know, cats love chasing things like snakes, you know, long and slithery things, and yeah, it's just not worth it. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed that information, and so I'm going to carry on with my venomous series, and I don't know if I'll do another video next week about venomous snakes, but I will definitely do one in the next month. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and when you do subscribe, please hit that bell notification so you get notifications of all my latest videos. And if you've got any comments or questions, then just pop them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. But for now, from myself and little Cardassius, it is goodbye, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks very much for watching.